right, what a lovely mid-morning day, late September, for me to have a little chat with you about guitar and guitar lessons. First of all, let me thank you for scanning that code on the poster. That's very cool technology that I've just recently started to use in my studio, and so that's cool that you took advantage of that, and here we are. Your video after that scan. Love it. My name is Stephen Dempster. I'm the owner and operator of Dempster Guitar Studio, and let me ask you a question. It's pretty straightforward. Simply, why did you scan the QR code? I'll bet it was because there's something nagging you. Maybe you were just plain curious, I don't know, but there's probably something that's nagging you about guitar. Something that's just not working. So there's a problem. And that's where it always starts. Everybody comes to take lessons because there's something about the way they're thinking or the experiences that they're having on the guitar. It just doesn't seem to be working that well for them. Unless, of course, they're really, really tiny kids and parents just want some exposure to music. Otherwise, there's probably something that's bugging you. Fortunately, the orientation that I take in Dempster Guitar Studio is to produce results for the problem that you have. In other words, my job is to kind of dig deep and really get a good sense of what the problem is. And it could be buried under a bunch of layers, but what it is. And then from there, you and I can kind of create a nice roadmap and figure out a way that we can go from point A to point B, making sure we're on track the whole time so that you get results relatively quickly. I'm not saying get results quickly at the expense of doing it well. But certainly you need that in order to feel like you're progressing. That's something that we really focus on here at Dempster Guitar Studio. Always have, always will. So then the next question that the question that you're probably asking yourself is, well, how are you going to make that happen, Steve? I'm just looking at a butterfly over there. How are you going to make that happen? Well, there's a whole bunch of things that go on here at the studio that are related to the lessons that you actually take. So the first thing I want to identify is, of course, you have your lessons. Everybody varies in terms of how long they want them, how frequently they take them, but they have something going on that's a consistent exposure between you and I in order to see results. So it's obvious you're going to be doing lessons. Another thing that we have going on here is, and it's relatively new, but it's been looking good. I've been getting good success with it. It's something called the Guitar Gym. What's that about? Well, the gym is simply as it sounds. It's like going to a gym to pump weight. It's about training your hands to make sure that they're in shape for the kind of stuff that you need them to do to play the wonderful songs that you want to play. There's nothing more frustrating. I see it time and time again when a student wants to do a tune, they love it to death. I try to break it down for them in order that they can play it. And then, of course, they get very frustrated with the fact that while they want to be able to do it up here, or they think they can, the hands are just not responding properly. It's no mystery. They just haven't been trained. And quite honestly, very often a student will jump a little too far ahead in their willingness to take on a tune. They jump too far ahead beyond what they're physically capable of doing. Did I say that right? Capable of doing. And so they start getting very easily frustrated, and obviously that's not a good plan. So the Guitar Gym is in place to help offset that. It's a free session. It happens every week, and on a Saturday. The same topic of training gets covered for a full month, so you get lots of opportunity to come in and train that. And so that's one thing, the Guitar Gym. It's free. It's totally free. People from the outside have to pay, but current students, they get it free. There's another program coming on board, which I call the OOPS program. Now this one's kind of cool because here we get a chance to, or I get a chance to study you in between your schedule of lessons. Now you're going, well, why would I come in again, potentially 2 times every week? Because most people take a lesson once a week. There's no reason for that. That's just more or less what people expect to do. The reasoning is this. I get you for a very, very short period of time out of a week. And you have a lot of time in between the lessons to make a bunch of mistakes and think that you're doing okay, when in fact what you're doing is getting really good at potentially playing something really bad. It's become a bit of a mantra here at the studio, so we don't want that to happen. So the best way to at least offset that without me following you home all the time, which sounds kind of creepy, and I don't do that, so we won't go there, is to let you come in for however long you need. It could be just a 5-minute checkup, like going to the dentist or something, just to see how things are coming along, and to stop any problems from arising as soon as we see them, so that you're not going to repeat that throughout the week, because that's how problems really settle into your practice. They start to feel normal, and then you think you're doing okay when in fact you're getting kind of bad. But you're practicing the bad a lot, so it's getting badder, if I can say that. So that's what the OOPS program is all about, and that's free as well. Holy crap, lots of value going on here so far. Lessons, guitar gym, the OOPS program. Oh yeah, and of course, making music is key to why people want to take up an instrument, so we should be making music. Now, although we do that in lesson, in our session times, we also have jam sessions going on here. An opportunity for people to get together at all kinds of different levels. It really doesn't matter what level of playing you're at, to be around and hang around people who are players. It's like taking French immersion. There's a reason why those programs work so successfully instead of just taking French as a class by itself. If you're immersed in it, you pick up on the nuances, you pick up on the subtleties of the language much more quickly. Same thing happens in jam sessions. They tend to happen once a month. It just depends on the frequency of sorry, not the frequency, but the interest of the students at the time. If it's something that's really getting people going, we put them together at your command, so to speak. And they can be as few as 5 people, and they can be up to 20. And there's nothing more hilarious than a bunch of guitarists all kind of playing the same tune, all playing it a little differently, but it's all held together by some good drummers and bass players that I bring along to make it sound pretty cool. So lots of jamming going on. And then finally, I've got a bit of a watery eye here, excuse me. Then finally, we do a lot of recording, interestingly enough. If you've got a tune that you've been working on for a while, and it's sounding really good, I call up some of my friends and I say, we need to get into the studio and record this person. If for the only reason to let them really hear what they sound like without having to listen to it while they're playing, because that's a different experience altogether. So on those occasions, we go into a professional recording studio and we get you done and recorded. There is a fee for that. It's a professional recording studio. But if it's of interest to you, we've made that available. So that's kind of the short answer to how you and I, if we do lessons together, how we're going to make sure we go from your problem and get you some results. And that's what Dempster Guitar Studio is all about. If you go onto the website, www.dempsterguitarstudio.com, and I urge you to, you'll see right at the very top, the tagline for the studio is, play it right, play for life. Don't practice mistakes. We're all about that. I nag students about it. We're also very big about rhythm. Oh my gosh, this is like the biggest problem everybody brings to the studio. I don't know how to strum. My timing sucks. All of these issues that relate to sounding good. And almost always it boils down to good rhythm or not so good rhythm. So there's a lot of focus on that here as well. It's built into everything we do. You just about play nothing without an awareness of rhythm. I nag you about this. So you're going to get good at it one way or the other. The final area that we have is workshops. Lots of workshops going on all the time. In fact, I've got one coming up in the next few weeks called Beach Bum Strummin', and it focuses on rhythm, helping people understand the logic of strumming, which is rhythm, and developing a deeper awareness for how that works. All of that stuff, the OOPS program, the workshops, the jam sessions, the lessons, the guitar gym, it's all sort of conspiring together to help you get from the problem that you came to me with and help you get results. Now, if that doesn't attract you, then I don't know what will, because that's the only reason somebody's looking to study guitar with somebody else. If you go on to the website, on just about every page, there's some stuff you can download to get started right away. If you're just interested in kind of getting more information from me, there's a 7-day video guitar course that I have available for you. It's totally free. You just go on, go on the main page, type in your email and your name, and you're good to go. And you'll get a lesson every day for 7 days on some of the basic ideas that you're going to need to get a handle on in order to be good at this thing, the guitar. You have to have these under your belt. There's also on the same page, the main page, a downloadable PDF file that reveals 7 of my most awesome strumming tips to make sure that your awareness of strumming becomes you playing what you feel based on what you hear, rather than you playing some kind of a canned, as I say, strum pattern that somebody else showed you. Nothing wrong with that. You can start with that, but it mustn't stay there very long, as I often tell my students. You've got to get away from that to get the true joy of being able to play. It's a longer process, but it's a musical process. That's what we're here for. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of sense of the studio and what goes on here, and hopefully you want to get in touch with us and do some sessions. Go on to the website, www.dempsterguitarstudio.com, or you can email me at steven@dempsterguitarstudio.com. Ask me questions. Let me help you make a good informed decision as to whether you want to study here. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. I thank you for taking the time to scan, listen to me give you a little intro to the studio, and hey man, I hope we can do some work in the future. Appreciate your time and thanks for listening. Cheers.